That's too funny. Hi there. Welcome to Real Talk with Angry Soccer Mom. And tonight, I'm seriously angry. I know that sounds horrible, but I really am angry. I finally just admitted that. Jillian, I hope you're here. That'd be awesome. I didn't know you could write messages ahead of time. So if that is you, if you are here, I am absolutely thrilled to have you. And I'm hoping we can get a good conversation going because I have lots to say. It's going to be a bad week or two, but somehow we'll get through it. Just a long time waiting. Jillian, absolutely. This is so scary. It's amazing when I think about what this whole world is going through. We have a lot to talk about, so I'm going to get started. If you know anyone who wants to join our conversation, I'm always looking for people who are interested in jumping in on the conversation. Today, you can call in or write in, and I am just thrilled to have people watching. So this week's topics include anything you feel is newsworthy about racism, bigotry, and inequality in America. And every day we just get more and more topics because it covers everything. Nails and glitter. I'm glad you're angry. Oh, I am so angry today. I actually have to kind of get a grip because can only go so far until I kind of explode. But the show is meant to be an opportunity for viewers to speak their mind and also serve as an educational tool for white folks who want to learn about and need to learn about systemic racism in America. So before we start, I'll introduce myself. I'm Angry Soccer Mom, and I'm pretty pissed, I have to say. Research the news and you too will be pissed. It's not good. So if you haven't seen some of my videos or haven't heard my show, please consider subscribing and ringing the bell. I try to do lots of videos from me and other things. If I find a video that I think is amazing, I'll put it up there. Yeah, this COVID-19 thing is insane. But we had a good head start, so I have a bunch of announcements to make, which I'll make really fast. Until further notice, I will not be hosting the Tuesday night show, but tonight's Wednesday show is on as usual, and I will be careful to not miss a single night as long as possible. And I will take phone calls as well. If you want the number, it's until we get like so many trolls that I can't take it, I will definitely take phone calls. The number is 347. Hi, Mr. FS Black. Yay, I'm happy you're here. And I need your input tonight because we're going to talk a lot about very serious things. Yay, I'm really psyched you're here. 347-732-5284. I'm going to have each phone call be pretty short, although it is tempting to blab on and on. That's my first announcement. So the number again, 347-732-5284. And my second announcement is I'm still doing the GoFundMe for my friend who is here a lot and should be here tonight. He has no medical insurance and he has to have surgery on one of his eyes or he's going to be blind. So please consider spreading this link that I'm going to put up. Any amount will help. He is very understandably desperate and it's just a really scary time. Number 3. This week, okay, I'm such a nerd. This week I was honored with being able to interview a man who's almost 90. His name is Billy Shelton, and I interviewed him for almost 5 hours. Okay, it was insane. I just was like, I still think I need to do more because he has stories, and they're not just stories; they're real about life, what it was like. In the 40s and 50s and 60s. And he knows tons of stars who are Black and who struggled. And he can tell all about their struggle and all about his struggle because he's famous himself. And so I put out one video this week, but I think I have like 15 more. His life is so fascinating, and hearing it from a real life person who lived it, there is nothing else like it. So he's a great storyteller and such a nice man. I feel so lucky, and I need to say definite shout out to Neil for getting me hooked with him, and we're friends now. And hey, 5 hours later, what can I say? It was really cool. I love him, and I can honestly say I know him pretty well now. So he's a famous guy, but so humble, so nice. Oh my gosh, just made me feel comfortable and just amazing. I met his family. I mean, it was crazy. So if you know anybody, I'm always looking for people who are Black, brown, African American, people who have even people who are in any numerical minority group in America who have a story to tell, because I want to hear what your story is. It doesn't have to be the most amazing, crazy story. It can be anything that has to do with your struggle due to systemic racism, bigotry, inequality, or corruption is the next thing on our list, sadly. So if you know anybody, have connections to friends of friends, because that's the only way I get people is through my friends. Okay, so please help if you can, and I know you'll guide me in the right direction. And finally, please consider this a forum where there's an open invitation to discuss anything that's impacting you about the pandemic. Food, work, loneliness, people that you know getting really sick and how scary it is. Anytime we can talk about it, because it's just open. Anything, call, write, whatever you want to do. So that being said, finally, all my announcements. The topics that I have for tonight are, number one is obviously the alarming rate for Black Americans who are dying of the coronavirus. And that's been huge in the news, and it just brings out so many emotions. I don't even know where to start. I have a couple of my other topic, how Trump kind of snuck some things by while we were all, doing this pandemic. And while he's not doing crap about the pandemic, he's doing some things now, but, one of my topics is how much I blame him. But I have one of my topics that I've set for tonight, the French doctors who decided it was absolutely acceptable to go on live TV and talk about how they think that they should use people in Africa for guinea pigs to experiment on. Like, they knew they were on camera, yet this is unbelievable. I don't really have a lot of words about that, but I want to know what you think and how you, when you saw the news. Another topic I have is Black folks not wanting to wear masks. I did a video actually on this young man who was kicked out of Walmart a couple weeks back because he wore a surgical mask. It was talk about shopping while Black. It was disgusting. And there were other people in the store that were shopping while white with a mask and were not kicked out. And it was obnoxious. I hope he sues the living hell out of them. Sorry, little commentary there. And then, I have a lot of topics tonight. I'm pretty upset after just certain turns of events. Trump, my other topic is Trump diverting state funds with no oversight, no transparency. God knows where they're going to, but I promise you, his friends will be served first. It's obnoxious. How is it legal? Okay, I'm getting ahead of myself. And my last one, Trump's responsible for the outrageous number of deaths in our country. Sorry, that's my opinion. And I will back it with some pretty good facts. So while you're thinking, Mr. Evans Black, imagine if our nation actually listened to Dr. Fauci. Mr. Evans Black, I'm beyond, just incensed beyond, human. Trump thinks he's a freaking doctor. He's not only not a doctor, he's not worthy of opinion because he's ignorant. Anyway, don't get me started. I'm not so happy tonight. I just don't see good things happening for the future of all of our fellow humans. But absolutely agree. It's unbelievable. He thinks he's a doctor now. Oh my God. Don't get me started. Okay. But do, because that's your job. While you're thinking of topics you want to discuss, I have a rant. I'm not normally a nasty person. I don't take pride in being a nasty person, but I do take pride in being real. And I'll tell you, this is just in a million years. This is out of control. This is out of control. I mean, people say that the coronavirus is the great equalizer. They say it doesn't discriminate and that no one is immune to its wrath. Well, that's really lovely, but that's not completely true. If all things are equal, then maybe it would be, but in America, those with money and power get special treatment. And as it turns out, there are some people who are most likely to die from it. And I mean very much more likely, not just a little. From what I've been reading, systemic racism impacts every part of a person's life who is African American or Black, and medical treatment is no different. It's not simply, having that doctors might have implicit bias or nurses might have implicit bias, although that's obviously a huge contributor. I'm talking about the fact that as a community, Black people are in poorer health, less likely to have insurance, less likely to go to the doctor, and more likely to not be taken seriously and even be turned away, all because of the ongoing systemic racism that we have allowed. We live in a society whose health system is for profit, and that alone is beyond evil. If you don't have wealth, you go to the back of the line or you don't get to get in line. And that's disgusting. It really is. So due to systemic racism, Black Americans still remain one of the poorest groups monetarily and therefore are grossly underserved with respect to healthcare, both mental and physical. And when people can't afford treatment for curable conditions, despite working 1, 2, 3 jobs, even if they have insurance, they're finally forced to go to the emergency room because they're in agony. It's sometimes too late. So even before the pandemic, the statistics regarding healthcare for Black Americans were appalling due to rampant systemic racism. In a blind control group study, research consistently shows that Black people are taken less seriously, thought to have higher pain tolerances. Excuse me, let's talk about propaganda and stereotypes. Are given less medication for pain and are treated skeptically compared to their white equivalents. I got to tell you a story because this is totally insane. One day I had strep throat. Okay. I'm like as white as it gets. Okay. I waited because I was like kind of not taking great care of myself. I waited and waited and waited to go in. Okay. I waited a month. Let's be real. People used to die of it, right? I mean, before penicillin and all that stuff. So I was that idiot, just not taking care of myself. I went into the doctor's to urgent care, not the emergency room, but urgent care. And guess what? I walked in and nobody came with me because, I don't really remember why, but they didn't. So here's what went on. This is like insane. And I was thinking, if I was Black, I can't imagine how much worse it would have been. I walked in before I was at the desk where you check into triage. The lady yells out, "We're not giving you any drugs, I'm like, what? What? She goes, "We're not giving you any drugs." I'm like, I think I have strep throat. She goes, "Well, I'm just saying, I must have looked like a drug person, I guess. I mean, I don't think I do. And I don't know what that person looks like, but apparently she decided I was a drug addict wanting drugs. I'm like, I'm a strep throat person wanting penicillin maybe, or so it was, I can't imagine if I'm getting that kind of shit treatment, just, once in a while, I can't imagine what my friends who are Black or African-American or even brown or whatever, it's like insanity. Then it didn't stop there. I mean, I don't know what the deal was with this place. I walked in and the first time the nurse saw me, maybe this lady called back to warn them of me. I mean, okay, I'm going to tell you something that is like kind of scary secret. I've never even smoked a marijuana cigarette. That's how not into illicit or whatever. I'm not against it. And I know a lot of people who do it and I don't have any problems with it, but I just personally have never done it. So I'm talking, she couldn't have been talking to the least drug person ever, but I was just like, really? The lady calls me back and says, "You need to know we're not giving you narcotics." I'm like, I hope not. I think I have strep throat. I'm like, Jesus. So thinking about that, I cannot imagine. And I've heard, so I kind of can. I've heard some of my closer friends have told me about their, parents' treatment and their treatment. And anyway, it's disgusting. And in a pandemic and an emergency situation, it just skyrockets exponentially. And it is absolutely unconscionable. To not be taken seriously, to be assumed to be a drug addict. I mean, I was laughing my ass off, but that was my first time. And it was so outlandish for me. And I just looked at them like, and I have my white privilege. So I'm like, I'll be talking to their boss. That's obnoxious. So, I mean, there's no comparison, but just that little teeny bit, I was like, what? So according to Harvard School of Medicine, you probably heard of that one, it's well established that Black people and other minority groups in the United States, numerical minorities in the United States, experience more illness, worse health outcomes, premature death compared to whites. And that is just, it's just a fact. Although most doctors don't mean to be racist, they are practicing medicine in an inherently racist system. It's in the air, okay? The inability to check their own implicit bias can mean the difference between life and death for Black Americans. Sometimes people will not serve patients because they don't really, they have their little implicit biases and they don't let them in. And that can be the difference between life and death, as we all know. It's implicit bias is one of the lowest forms of systemic racism, which perpetuate personal racism and systemic, but it is not harmless. Do not think for 1 minute. And I think that has a lot to do with this. So let's get back to the coronavirus. Black people are being infected and dying at higher rates, and it's not even close. Check this out. In Milwaukee, simply being Black already means your life expectancy is 14 years shorter on average than your white counterpart. That's a crime against humanity. This statistic is not an aberration. This is not I didn't have to dig for it. It came right to me. This is reality in America. And for my friends who are Black listening and viewers, I don't need to tell you this. You know this. Or at least if you don't, you do now. But most people know this. It's the white folks that don't get this. That's beyond statistically significant. That's out of control. As of Friday morning, African Americans made up half of Milwaukee County's 945 cases. This is one county in the United States, and 81%, which came to 27 deaths in the county, whose population is only 26% Black. And this is not just some sort of, strange case that I pulled out of nowhere. This is how it's looking. And I mentioned Milwaukee because it's one of the few places that in the United States that is tracking the racial breakdown of people who have been infected by this coronavirus. It offers a glimpse at the disproportionate rates of destruction that this virus is inflicting on Black communities nationwide. And you know how segregated we are. So, according to a former CDC official, COVID-19 is just unmasking the deep disinvestment in the communities. The person said the historical injustices and the impact of racial residential segregation. He went on to say that this is the time to name racism as the cause of all these things. People are saying there aren't enough studies out. We really can't say, yeah, we can. Sorry. Yeah, we can. City after city, disproportionately, Black people are dying of this. And I want to know what you think. The overrepresentation of people who are Black, other people of color, people who are African American, in poverty, and the white people who are wealthy is not just some sort of chance. It's because we do not value them. And that is disgusting. The U.S. Center for Disease Control and Prevention tracks the outbreaks, and typically they keep track of age, race, and location of people who die of this. It's a normal thing. And I'm not saying, because I don't want to be a person who, says things that aren't true, but I wonder why. For the coronavirus virus pandemic. However, the CDC has only released location and age data. The race of people dying of this has been silenced, and it's unconscionable. Experts say, doesn't need an expert for this one, that the nation's unwillingness to publicly track the virus by race is a great way, and yes, that is sarcasm, to conceal what a disproportionate number of people are dying are going to be Black. And I don't know why they just stopped keeping track of the race. Gee, you tell me why. According to a Harvard Medical School epidemiologist, the reason for this is the same reason that African Americans have disproportionately high rates of maternal death rate, low levels of access to medical care, and higher rates of asthma. Milwaukee provides an early indication of what will be surfacing nationally if our federal government was actually tracking race. This is beyond disgusting. And that is the end of my rant. But welcome. Let me see. I'm going to back it up here. It's unbelievable. Mean Gene, here's a question. Why are they removing cures and remedies for the coronavirus from social media? I'm not sure what you mean. Give me more specifics. I know they pulled some of Trump's ludicrous, the man thinks he's a doctor, doesn't believe in science, but he's given himself basically an honorary MD to the entire nation. And it's causing a lot of problems, which we'll get into later. He's actually really causing some problems. Imagine that. They have pulled some of the stuff he was saying from the CDC website because people were self-medicating based on Dr. Trump. Okay. But give me more details, Mean Gene, because Mean Gene, that's okay. Because I want to know what you're talking about. Jillian, yay, I'm happy you're here. And thank you so much. You're embarrassing me. And hi, Les. I'm thrilled you got my message. Yay. Let me know what you guys have to say. Do you guys know people who are, getting sick on this? I don't know anybody. I just sit here and do videos about anti-racism, against bigotry, inequality, and all that. So I never leave the house. But I'm just wondering what you think about the fact that Black Americans are dying at incredibly disproportionate rates as compared to other groups. It's unbelievable. They're purging all herbal and natural remedies. What do you mean? They're taking it off the internet, social media, because people are like trying things? Tell me more, Nails and Glitter. Interesting. I know some people are following what Trump says. I'm sorry, the man, I just could go on and on. I won't. He's not a doctor. That's a nice way to put it. He's a freaking moron. And he's a racist, bigoted, misogynistic one at that. So yeah, that. Okay. There's very little data on the topic so far because someone, I wonder if it was Trump. I don't know who. I'd like to find out, but I didn't have time to figure it out. Decided we don't track race for this pandemic. Seriously? It basically gives like open season to serious evil shit. I don't know how else to put it. I'll just say it. I believe we are seeing the exponentiated impact of racism when it comes to a widespread emergency. I mean, I don't think it takes a genius to believe that. And I don't think it's any one thing, but when you're being abused already by society in some of the most important ways, like your own health, and then when there's an emergency, all those things come into play. Mr. FS Black, I know a couple of people who have had health issues before this pandemic who are now scared to leave the house because of COVID-19. Absolutely. Yeah. Actually, in my family, I have somebody who is considered very high risk. If you smoke, I just read something yesterday. If you smoke, that you might as well be in with the people who have asthma and all that other stuff. because high rate of precondition, if you have high blood pressure, they're not telling us everything we need to know. Obviously we know why, and it's really scary because a lot of folks don't think that they're susceptible, or I don't know, there's a lot of rumors going around. It's really scary, and they are not true. Like, there was a rumor going around that said on social media that Black people can't get this. Okay, I know it might sound funny to you, but people were believing it. And that's really scary. That's how you get in trouble. Nails and glitter. Yes, they want to only allow the vaccine narrative and FDA approved stuff right now. Yes, they want to only allow. Yeah, I mean, and I get experimental stuff, and I'm absolutely all for, if somebody's dying, you do whatever you can. I mean, I get that, but I don't take my medical advice from Trump. He's a freaking imbecile, among other. That's a nice way to put it. He doesn't even believe in science, nor does he understand science. So, and that's right now, he has a free open forum to the United States and the world to tell what he thinks. He has a gut feeling. Well, you know what? His gut feeling is ridiculous. It's not based on any, and if somebody who was a scientist or a doctor was pushing any of this, absolutely, I would listen. But him, it's terrifying. Vernon, yay, I hope you're still here. I've been blabbing. It's probably because the higher rates of pre-existing conditions like diabetes, hypertension, etc., just because people are passing in other countries too. Yeah, and part of it is absolutely. I mean, we have allowed, because of our racism, we have allowed our Black brothers and sisters to go without, be abused, and then go without some more. And then a pandemic comes up. And what do you think is going to happen? All those preconditions, all those terrible things that and I mean we as a society, I mean the white people, I'm sorry. Hate me, love me, whatever. I'm just being real, okay? The white people are the ones who are in power. We have the numbers. It's not all of us, but you know what? It's a pretty damn lot of us. Guess why? Because if it wasn't, we wouldn't have this ludicrous Black people dying significantly earlier than white people overall. That's insane. This is supposed to be America. Anyway, I'm on a rampage. So I'm really not happy. I never am like about this kind of thing, but tonight I really was angry writing this. It's unbelievable. Azilla, I love you, Anchor Sacramento. Keep up the great work. Your content. Oh, my content is a lot. Thank you. Yay. Thank you so much. I so appreciate your support. Thank you. I wish people would listen. The people who are coming to my audience a lot of times are the people who know all this. They could do the show. It's like, but it is really good because in reruns or in, people do see this, and I gotta hope I'm just doing something just for somebody. I don't know, even if it's one person, it's me, because I have to. This is insane. I can't be quiet and do nothing. I can't. And I don't think any other white person should. And that's why I do this. And yes, I sound all-knowing and obnoxious and arrogant and all that. But you know what? Who watches their fellow human get abused in a country that boasts liberty and justice for all and does nothing? Because we were born into it, so there's nothing we can do. Or, everyone's racist. So, it's like, no. It's, I guess, I don't know. I don't accept it. No. You don't sit there and watch. You do something. And even if you get nowhere, you try to do something. And way too many white folks are doing abso-stinking-lutely nothing. Therefore, they are condoning it. And they are holding the system in place. This thing isn't going to dismantle itself. I just don't know if people get that. But anyway, thank you for your nice compliment, Izilla. I appreciate it. Gary, my friend's local station cuts his daily updates off for local news. Last Sunday, they cut him off and had an infomercial. Tell me more. Oh, the same station never cuts our government's updates off. Interesting. Tell me more. I think I know what you're saying, but I want to. Yeah, there's some stuff going down. Trump's been a busy boy, put it that way, while he has not been tending to the many, many, many warnings and people who have literally begged him to take action. And later in the show, I really worked on this to get a lot of the latest things. So I'll be crystal clear here. The data seems to be overwhelmingly leading to the simple and inhumane conclusion that Black people are dying at huge, huge rates. And we're not even tracking it, except in a few places where the actual county or city or maybe state has mandated that as a state law. But unlike Trump, it's so a lot of people think, well, we don't really know that Black people are dying at this rate. I'm sorry. Yeah, we do. There's a bunch of huge cities, and we haven't done the studies yet. Yeah, let's take 10 years to do the studies. We're a racist society, okay? Studies done. Sorry. Unlike Trump, when I go by my gut instinct and give my opinion, it's actually based on something, the best information, the best science, the best data, or social science data available at the time, in comparison, where Trump's gut reaction, his instinct that he shares with America and the world, goes against the world's foremost experts in the field. It's unbelievable. Trump, as a man who is not a believer in science, but is very much a believer in conspiracy theories, should really shut the you-know-what up, okay? If you read the newspapers and the local papers, what he's getting people to do is horrible. Already, his ignorant advice goes against science and is causing people to hoard medication that other people need. His gut instinct is in direct opposition to, wait for it, science. He's basically making shit up as it goes, and it's killing people. Uh-oh, somebody's calling. Hello, thank you for calling in, I hope. Give me 1 second. 1 second. Got to get my, that's weird, off a headset. Sorry about that. Can you hear me? You're coming through my headset. Oh, and I don't know why. I'm going to unplug something. Now say something.
Hello, can you hear me?
Oh, there we go. I can hear you. Thanks for calling in. Sorry about that.
No problemo.
Wanted
to chat with you on this wonderful Wednesday,
What's going on?
In our houses.
Yeah, where we're all stuck in our houses.
Right. Well, if you're doing, hopefully, what you're supposed to be doing, you're stuck in your house.
I hope so. What's going on?
I just wanted to pipe in on the, on the reported numbers. And I don't know if you've made the connection yet, but I kind of wanted to point out the connection to lack of health insurance, since
yeah, well, that's what I just mentioned that in lack of health insurance in my little rant.
Yeah, so I might have been calling in.
Oh yeah, I bet you were calling in. Yeah, I was ranting about that. Yeah, exactly.
I just feel like a lot of the wind has been taken out of the sails of the election, and that was a pretty big topic for most Americans. And if you look at, if you look at the disproportionate rate of poverty, if you look at the disproportionate rate of lack of health insurance, if you look at the disproportionate rate of lack of housing, it starts to paint kind of a Captain Obvious picture, which is why I think Dr. Fauci had the attitude he did about it. He was like, well, we've known this forever.
Yeah, this isn't new news.
That's pretty much what he said. He said, we've known this since forever.
It's not new news, but the statistics
we can really do about it.
The statistics are absolutely mind-boggling. I mean, it's not even a close call. It's sick. It's sick.
Well, and then I think it's like Black women to white women. 3 Black women die for every white woman that dies in childbirth, and that in and of itself is an abysmal number for an advanced country.
It is out of control.
We shouldn't be losing women in childbirth. That's silly.
Childbirth, and even in New York City, it's even worse. And God knows why. The African, somebody is saying from the Diaspora News channel, reparations will solve those problems. That's due to medical racism, 100%. Medical racism is a topic huge.
And as you and I were talking about this before, see how fast they came up with like $2 to $6 trillion? Did you see how fast they did that?
Yeah, that's what I wanted to,
really fast, wasn't it?
Yeah. Oh yeah, suddenly we do have the money.
Acknowledge for 1 second that
totally
we have a whole group of people that are still being monetized, like right now, today, here,
it's
now, slavery.
Unbelievable. Suddenly, we have absolutely no money for reparations, and I've been trying to get somebody from, to come and actually speak, as like do an interview on or something like that, to come from there, because this needs to be talked about. It's disgusting. We came up with trillions and trillions all of a sudden.
Yes.
Give me a break. What a lie. What a lie. We have no money for reparations.
That's like a ridiculous amount of money.
How about be a stand-up person and say...
It's like more than the military budget.
It's...
Like, are you kidding me? $6.5 trillion?
What a slap in the face.
Like that. I mean, just like that. And then somebody else made a very good point about the 99% bailing out the 1% with the $6 trillion BS.
And now there's no oversight and no. I mean, he
fired the guy.
He fired the guy. Yeah.
Agreed on for oversight. You know,
it's getting. I mean, I can't underestimate the depths of his absolute racist, evil, cruel, horrific behavior. Just horrific.
Right. But I think the thing I keep trying to challenge you about is on our side, on the brown side, on the black side, it's expected. We expect it. And you're shocked because you don't.
Actually, I'm not as much shocked because I don't expect it. I can't normalize any of this. Like I've been doing this for a long time. I can't normalize it.
Part of it. We've lived it for so long.
Yeah. I just can't normalize it. Yeah,
it is normal.
Yeah, and
that is the normal.
Yeah, and abusive. Yeah, and I'm sure there's part of that, but I can't normalize it. A lot of people can. I can't. It's unconscionable to me when I saw those numbers. Unconscionable. I wanted to run over to the hospital, and I mean, maybe I'm a control freak, but and I don't look at it. I know obviously it's easy for me to say as a white person, but I don't really look at it as sides because I don't have a side personally. I have no allegiance to white people whatsoever. I have allegiance to people who are real and have hearts of gold. And other than that, I don't have allegiance to anybody because that comes in every shade. And for white folks, I'm on top of white folks because I can't speak to or for black people. That's not my place. It's just not my place.
We're dealing with our own.
Yeah, it is not
our own problems.
Yeah, like how in the world would I, as a white person, know more about how to solve these incredibly complex problems that white folks have caused better than someone who's living it? But so I do seem like I'm on top of white folks all the time, but that's who I can speak to because I'm a white person. But so strange. I can't relate to it. I don't get it. I mean, I understand what they're doing, but I don't know why. Why would anyone do this to their fellow human?
It's about, it all comes back to power. It comes back to control, and it comes back to money.
Yep.
Whoever is in control of the money has the power and the control.
Yep.
And that's why it's so obvious in our politics. Yeah. Because once again, the Democratic Party has decided they're going to force us to swallow their pick, their establishment corporatist guy. Mm-hmm. And guess what? There's a whole bunch of people who are not going to swallow.
No. And I know you're one of them, and I get that. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And maybe you could clarify what you're talking about to everybody.
From a different standpoint, it's like, why on earth would I support one sexual abuser over another? Why on earth would I do that? Right. That makes no sense.
Right. And absolutely.
It's counterintuitive.
I understand your point of view 100%.
That dog don't hunt. You know?
And you know how I feel about that. I absolutely get it. And they are throwing that he's going to do what we're talking about for people who maybe just joined in is the fact that we are forced to have Biden, who is very, very much
picking between Joe Biden and Donald Trump is not much of a pick.
And that's her opinion. Absolutely. Understandably. For me, I'm an anyone but Trumper. I would vote for a rock over him because I believe he truly is going to and is doing it, dismantling our entire, he is purposely, knowingly, systematically doing that, destroying our democratic republic.
But
I think
hold
it's
on.
too late.
That's where I think you're missing a piece because he's only dismantling it for people that look like you. It was dismantled for people that look like me a very long time ago.
Well,
and that's why we're not buying. That's why we're not chewing.
No, I understand what you're saying, but if I can add my little white point of view.
Oh, that was it. I was done.
Oh yeah, no. I totally get that. And it's like, for me, I'm not as extreme because I don't have to be. I'm not like, I think we were slowly heading like a snail's pace, but possibly in the right direction for a while, maybe, but not fast. But now he's completely dismantling it. And he's also trying to dismantle, what he just did by jumping into the big giant lawsuit with Comcast. He purposely got involved in that because it was about Black folks having the right to discriminate.
Putting them in their place, and you better know who's in charge.
Right. So
you better shut up about it.
So my big thing is this, and we've talked about this before, is he is purposefully dismantling laws that protect Black people. About 2 years ago, he had two of his people go right into the two attorneys, look into how he can take section what was it? A section of the Civil Rights Act of 1964 out, so that you would have to have prove intent, which essentially
you would have to prove that it was only and no other reason
well, no, that's,
than.
Well, that's for
impossible.
That's for his.
Right.
That's for his. That's for the Byron Allen case. But for this one, 2 years ago, he was going into the 64 one and trying to change the definition of discrimination so that it had to be intent. If it's intent, no one's going to admit that. Give me a break. That means discrimination is. Remember that?
He was trying to say that he was being discriminated against or something.
Yeah, well, he was trying to get his attorneys to look into taking away. So this is a man, and I'll get to my point. This is a man who, sure, he's Biden is not a favorite of mine, but the man there is purposely, I know what you said, that Black folks never had the rights and all that, but he's trying to take any rights they had away. And I don't think Biden is going to do that. I certainly don't think he's going to help. That's for sure as hell. But I don't think he's going to systematically go after. I don't know if he's like.
Go ahead.
I just don't know if he's going to do that. Go ahead. You go. I want to hear you.
I would just want to point out that even though the Civil Rights Act and the Voting Rights Act and all that BS went through in the 60s, we as Black people were still rioting well into the 70s.
Oh, of course.
Why is that? Because those laws didn't do anything.
Laws don't change someone's mind and heart. It's
right.
Yeah.
So I guess, the snail's pace just doesn't work for me.
I agree.
The snail's pace didn't work 50 years ago.
No. I agree 100%. It doesn't work for me either. That's why I do this. Even if I help one person, just one white person to think, what the hell are you doing watching?
Right.
Stop watching. Join in. Be a part of the solution.
Which is very funny, because I mentioned to you recently that I have a lot of people that are my friends that voted for Trump. They happen to also be white, You're a better woman than I. People that voted for Trump.
I can't.
But I don't want to beat up on them because they're misinformed. But it's really interesting is that the white people that I know that have voted for Trump are extremely embarrassed about it now. And there is a turn, especially among the younger voters that voted for him.
Yeah.
So I'm seeing it on the ground, and I think there is some shame involved.
Yeah, and you know what?
At least in my friends.
Yeah, I mean,
I'll call you out on you.
Yeah, well, here my bottom line is: don't be ashamed. Do something. Okay, so you made a mistake. Everyone makes mistakes. Now work to try to make good of it. Don't just do nothing. Too many people are doing nothing. Too many white folks are doing nothing. They think being nice to everybody is working.
Most of them don't know what to do, and it's impossible to just give them a list. Here, do this. It's impossible.
Educate themselves.
It has to be like custom tailored to each person and that person's education level. So it's difficult no matter where you're.
Oh, it's he doesn't. Know it. The slope is like straight up the learning curve. It's a lifetime commitment.
Right. It is,
but
there have been quite a few friends that aren't my friends anymore.
I don't know how you do it. I really don't. I really don't. I'm telling you, you're a better woman than I just, this isn't rocket freaking science. White people need to get on board and start giving a shit about their fellow humans. And you know what?
I'm listening. And I would say the biggest thing that they need to do is listen and stop talking. Because they have all these ideas and none of them are applicable. They want to tell you how to do something, or they take over what you're working on to the point where it's like you're not an ally because you don't listen. And I'm not talking about you because we're obviously talking, but
we're
my experience
we're good friends.
Yeah.
I cannot listen because we're good friends. Just kidding.
This particular statement, right?
Yeah,
not you in particular, but my experience with Democrat activists, liberal activists, they are dangerous. That is my opinion.
Fake liberals. That's what I call
them. Right. So it's like if we could just get you to just shut up and maybe listen a little more, we could actually get where we all want to go. But you think you have the answer already, and you're not listening to what the problem is. And that is it's how it remains. That is the beauty of it. It's self-sustaining because of the lack of information makes it sustainable. And you're hardwired not to accept new information. If you're American, it's hard to learn.
Absolutely. And I'm just going back to...
And then the education systems we have are literally built to keep you from that information.
Absolutely. The money taxes that go to communities that come directly from that community. What a joke. Talk about another way to keep people down. That's unbelievable. Right. A rich district. Right. There should be no such thing as a rich district in the United States. That's really bad. Well, there's so much we could talk about.
Well, I guess are rich districts.
Yeah, there's rich districts. Yes.
Yeah, there are rich
districts. You get a lot of the tax money is from the actual, and when people are redlined over years and years and years and years, how are you supposed to, there's no infrastructure. How are you supposed to have a rich district? And guess who was redlined? Gee whiz. It wasn't the white folks.
Well, and then, just we don't even have to be like scientists and put on our smart hats or anything. But if you add Flint, Michigan plus pandemic, you get really crappy death numbers.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And
because Flint, Michigan already poisoned their own people.
Absolutely. So they were willing to poison their own people.
When you have a pandemic run through.
Yeah. I do sound up in arms, but it's not just the numbers of this. It's accumulative. We have
right.
We have the head of
like Bernie Sanders was saying, like you're upset about this pandemic and you're going to pay for this pandemic, but what about the cancer numbers? People die of cancer every year. You're not going to do nothing about that? Okay, just checking.
Well, does he mean for Black people or for all people?
No, like Biden, he said he would veto a Medicare for all bill if it came across his desk.
Yeah. That we do not have health care for.
That doesn't make any sense. You can't say you're for the government paying for a pandemic, but not for cancer.
Absolutely.
When cancer's numbers are abysmal.
Right. And
cancer costs the economy more. You lose workers. You have people who wind up on Medicare and Medicaid because they can't afford to work anymore. They have people who are literally like bankrupting themselves, hoping that they can, qualify for Medicaid.
Yeah. This nation should be honest.
It doesn't make any sense.
It should be honest and say
the part that really bakes my noodle is like the one resource. The one resource you have as a country is your people. That's the one thing you have.
Yep. This country, despite our crimes against humanity that are ongoing, this country could turn around any minute, any second if it wanted to, and it doesn't want to. I'd be a lot more it'd be scary, but I'd rather have the people who are in charge and power in this country say, we just fucking hate Black people and we are never going to let them succeed. Never. I'd rather hear that than this bullshit.
I would much rather hear that because I would get the hell out.
Thank you. Thank you. And you know what? We can only take how they act, and that's how they act.
People that I couldn't convince, I could then convince, and they would come with me.
This nation is evil to Black people, African Americans. And it's pretty damn bad to brown people too, but African Americans, Black people, it is freaking evil. Absolutely evil at every turn.
I would, and just as a Black person in America, I can honestly say I know of one group of people that gets it worse, and that's
we do.
Indigenous
the Native. Yep, they do, and nobody's
as a Black person,
right. Absolutely.
I would just like to acknowledge that they are so much more screwed than we are.
Absolutely. And
I'm not saying that anybody should be.
Yeah, we talked about that. Yeah, we talked about that the other day. No one.
Yeah.
This is you saw that how fast they came up with money and how fast they come up for the 1%.
$6 trillion.
Ooh, we can't do reparations. That's at least stop lying and saying you can't. You won't do reparations. That is more honest. You won't do it. Not you can't. Baloney.
And even Bernie Sanders says they'll never go for it. They'll never go. They'll never vote it in. And that's an honest evaluation. They'll never go for it.
Right now.
They don't want to repair it because they're still making money off of our children in the prison system.
Capitalism gone ballistic. And I'll tell you, this would require a huge, tremendous, the biggest cultural shift ever. Half the white adults in America won't even admit that it exists. Why in the hell would they ever learn what the word reparations mean and then decide they would be like, and it's sort of funny because we think the people wouldn't want it. We don't always do what the people want. The people want common sense gun laws. Even the Republican people want that. We don't do it. So why all of a sudden the people don't want it?
Even Second Amendment people are cool with that.
Of course.
I'm a Second Amendment person.
Right, exactly.
Kind of cool with that.
But all of a sudden with reparations, oh no, the people can't take it. It's like, don't act like you care about the people. It's like, I don't know. I'm going on and on, but you got me going. Right. You got me going. But yeah, but
you have to like wrap your mind around the profit in death. They're profiting off of the death. They're profiting off of people being sick. They're profiting off of keeping people sick.
They're
profiting off of keeping us uneducated. They're profiting off of keeping us separated into classes.
Yep, absolutely.
Because and part of the reason why this is hitting the Black community harder is because they're less stable. They may be reliant on a family member or a friend to make it. Because of the economy or the situation or the town they live in, and things may not be going really great there. So we have more contact.
Yep. Absolutely. It all falls back on systemic racism we've allowed.
Right. Whereas the average middle class person gets up and goes to Starbucks and goes to work and goes home. Maybe goes to the grocery store or something. So it's just a very different lifestyle they're like, we don't know why this is happening to Black people. How about because Black people are worried about getting evicted, so they're still going to work?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And they're making it like it's we just don't know. That's why I was like, even the most liberal papers are like, oh, we just don't I'm going to just say it tonight. They might not know, but I do. And I'm not like the smartest person on the planet. It doesn't take that. It's because
this thing is going to hit poor people different than it hits not poor people. And guess who happens to have more poor people?
Yes, exactly. And of course, more white folks overall will die. And the people who do not understand this will not understand this. And they don't want to understand this.
Population.
Yes, they don't want to understand it. 100%.
Right.
Totally get what you're saying. And
which is absolutely mind-boggling when you're looking at a 70% of your death rate is Black people, and they only make up 30% of your total population.
That's what was so just
I don't think people can wrap their mind around so not only are Black people getting sick more, but they're experiencing it more deadly because of lack of healthcare.
Yep. And that is why, I could just go on and on. Yes, yes, yes to everything you're saying.
And then you wonder why we don't trust doctors, which is hilarious because part of the reason why I know some of this stuff is because my aunt, a Black aunt, is a doctor. I have an aunt that's a nurse.
Well, historically, this nation and doctors
in a
have
way,
done.
I am privileged to have this information because I know how vaccines are approved and what FDA double-blind studies are.
Right.
And efficacy studies.
You're very academic.
At one point,
anyway.
At one point, I thought I wanted to be a doctor, so I was milking information from my family members.
Well, I mean, sociologically speaking, even historically, why would a Black person trust anybody associated with this kind of thing? We experimented on people. We could go on and on. The list goes on and on. It really does. I don't blame.
Right, and I mentioned that because I saw a comment earlier that said we need more African American doctors, and yes, we do have some, but they're spread out and they're far and few in between. So
yep, we need more teachers. We need more everything. We do.
Yeah, we need more teachers. We need more business people. We need more everything.
Yeah. Well, until the system is dismantled, I mean, I'm all for reparations, 100%. Not because I think it, because that's what people want. I voice what the people want, not what I want. But unless it's dismantled,
I think there's this kind of. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
No. It's just unless it's dismantled, how far is that going to go? Even, I mean, yes, it's a great thing, but this needs to be stopped. This is sick shit. Needs to be stopped.
Right.
But anyway, I'm blabbing. You got me going.
I think there's something to be said for being for reparations, even if it doesn't affect you directly, because it does affect everybody directly, in my opinion.
And that's why I kind of said that. And of course,
it's like I personally don't need to have a say in that money. The only thing I would insist on is that Black people have a say in that money.
Right.
I personally don't need a check. I don't want a check. I'm cool.
Are you talking about?
Are
you talking about
reparations?
That I always say it's not my place.
Mailing everybody a check. I personally don't want a check. I want programs. That's what I want.
Right.
And I may not even financially qualify for those programs, but I still want them.
Me too.
So there's
I want programs too, because
if you're doing really well, then it wouldn't affect you. So you don't need to support that idea or advocate for it.
And that's not why I don't say my opinion, because it's not my place. It's out of my lane. But you and I were discussing the fact that maybe it would be good if I did say something, and I'm perfectly happy to, because I support what I think Black people want.
There's an accepted narrative that most Black people just assume white people will get offended at the idea of it, because if you bring it up, a lot of times you will get anger from white people, which is why I said you might want to throw that up there.
I get anger from white people if I even just talking about racism in general, giving the definition. I don't care what I get from white people.
I had a high school friend on Facebook before I completely abandoned Facebook, and he literally went off on me because I advocated for reparations, and I was like, dude, you're insane. You can shut up. I'm going to have to block you. Like, you're attacking me because I made a post.
He's a white person?
And you're wrong. Yeah, somebody I went to high school with.
Well, that's just really it is not our place as white people to have that kind of opinion. I'm sorry, it's not. That's obnoxious. It's just obnoxious. It's not our place.
But I especially like the average white male will get very offended at the idea of, why should I have to pay for something I didn't benefit from? Not realizing that they benefit from it,
we just have so much education
it's just like the attitude of, how dare you hold me responsible for something I didn't do?
So much just lack of understanding and education needs to go on. I'm going to jump over. I see we have lots of comments, and I'm going to probably jump into some of these comments, but you, as usual, are amazing and always have thought-provoking things to say. So I thank you very much for that. No, it is. It's true. It's true. I could literally talk to you all day, because this is out of control, and it's so frustrating because it seems so obvious. But Yet people just, oh, we can't. Yes, we can. We actually can talk about it in a very, very forthright way with some honesty.
Right.
And I'm all about the honesty.
Right. And I think the other thing that I said to you, but I would love to say to your audience is, like, you don't always have to agree at the end of the conversation. You can go and look into it and think about it and mull it over, and maybe you change one piece of your thinking.
Yeah, or maybe it just
maybe you say, okay, I don't agree with you, but I agree with this new factoid I learned, and I'm going to put that in somewhere else where it matters for me.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And after a while, you hear the same thing over and over and over again from everybody, because this is not that complex. It really isn't, in my mind. It's about acting human.
I think it isn't when you really
acting human.
Look at the structural power setup of it. It makes a lot more sense.
Oh, we need to act human.
It's really about control and milking you for your tax dollars. Mm-hmm. And if we can't make tax money off of you, we'll put you in jail and make money off of you that way from other tax dollars. You know? So it's a racket.
And white folks are suckers, and we are suckers for it. We have bought into this, and you know what? The saddest thing is,
I think the worst part about
it's not good for us either.
The patsy is the poor white guy. And he didn't even know it. You know.
Yeah. And like I said at the last show, we all should know this. Like Martin Niemöller said, first they came for this group. You didn't think it concerned you because you weren't in that group. Then they came for the next group, same thing. And then they came for yours, and there was no one left. Anybody who is having their civil human rights obliterated in front of our eyes, it's our business. And if you think it's not, you're really in for a surprise at some point. That's kind of how I've always lived. So that's why I get up in arms, because you know what? When somebody does something rotten to my fellow humans, they're doing something rotten to me. I don't know how else to put it. Just being honest.
And there's not enough examples out there. So keep trucking. You're going to get a lot more crap than you feel like you get success, but keep doing it.
Yeah, it's you know what? It'll be a lifetime, and just want to take my last breath and say that I tried. That's all I want. I don't ask for a lot. But let me give some questions, and thank you so much for calling in, and you are awesome. Thank you.
Talk to you later.
Okay. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Appreciate you. Okay. I have a lot of people who have things to say. Oh my goodness. I'm going to start reading some of these comments because they are really, really great. Let me just back it up here. Jillian, I disagree with Caucasians are dying in higher rates, but trying to make Black folks as the face of the pandemic. Black people are dying percentage-wise in the places where they are being allowed to keep track of race in exorbitantly higher numbers than they should be based on their percentage in the population. So it's more lethal to Black people. It's not Black people's fault at all. It's a virus. It doesn't pick and choose. But what's happening is because of systemic racism, it's killing Black people at different rates than it's killing white people because of systemic racism. I hope that maybe it was confusing to, nobody should ever blame Black folks for, are you kidding me? They're the victims of this sickness. And as African Diaspora News Channel says, reparations will solve things. That's their take, is reparations will solve things. And medical racism, abso-stinkin-lutely. Medical racism is huge. And because we are in a for-profit system, it's disgusting. It's disgusting. And remember, when Black folks get the treatment and equity they deserve, it's going to benefit white people. We just don't seem to quite get that. We just don't seem to get that. I don't know why. Like, when your neighbor's getting better treatment, you're not watching your neighbor die. And maybe that doctor will give you better treatment because there's higher standards. I don't get it. It's only going to help white folks when all people are looked at as important and that they matter. I don't get it. Mr. F is Black, no for reparations, but has a $2 trillion bailout. Absolutely. Jillian, the pandemic has exposed a lot of flaws of our country, government, churches, and people-wise. That it has. Outstanding on truth. You should talk to Yvette Cornell. Really, you should. I will look that up. Or maybe you can get a hold of me and tell me who it is. I'm always extremely happy to get people to tell me, hook me up with people and all that. Taipan 123, the number of African Americans in Texas looks good. Hopefully we'll keep it up. Tell me more. What do you mean by that? Kitchen politics. I'm sick like a dog tonight, but we'll be quiet and just watch. You don't have to be quiet. And if you're sick, I'm so sorry you're sick, but join in anytime. But I'm sorry you're sick. Taipan 123, the number in Detroit, Chicago, and New Orleans are horrible. Yeah. I've been right. Yep. Kitchen politics. The DNC hasn't learned from the 2016, have they? The DNC, no, probably not. Jillian, they're labeling Black folks as the face of COVID-19 because of medical racism and refusal of proper Medicare and those who come from white and Asian doctors. I did not see that in my research, and I would, that I've been doing. I would love, throw something up if you, I'll look into it myself, but if you have anything on hand, Jillian, I want to see that. I have not seen that, but I absolutely believe you when you say you're seeing it. I wouldn't doubt it for a second. That's what we do. More African American doctors would help. Yep. Anyone but the evil orange monster. Right. Gigi, Trump will get reelected if people want to do a protest vote. Yeah. The thing is, Trump will get reelected. The protest vote, people are set in their ways. Personally, as I said, I'm an anyone but Trumper because of the depth of his evil. There's evil and then there's evil. And I'm sorry, not all evil is considered equal. I don't know if that makes, not all evil. There are many levels of evil. So, but yeah, I agree, Gigi, 100%. Kitchen politics, the Tara Reid accusation against Joe. Oh, yes. Credible or lying. Alyssa Milano is second face when it comes to the Me Too. Thoughts on Trump campaign website selling face masks. Ooh, did not know that. Yeah, this whole thing with the horrific abuse and rape, molestation, accosting of women is out of control. I don't even get it. In my old days, I would have said, never in my entire life would I consider anyone for public office that had done criminal acts to women or men or children. But the pickings are slim. That's all I can say. I truly don't believe that it's going to matter if Trump stays because he will be king. And that's absolutely what he wants in my very opinionated opinion. I think he wants to be king. And there's a bunch of Klan members that are in our Congress who want him to be king too. And that's really scary. Gigi, I would vote for a Snell against Trump. Yeah. Standing truth, many people aren't aware of yes, I know of the Byron Allen, and I did 4 videos on it. And not that I'm like the only person on the planet, but I really focused on it. That is huge. That case, oh God, I wish I could have an interview with him. I would do anything. What he did for us, and I say us because I truly feel it's us. Anytime a group of people's human and civil rights are taken away, ours are next. And that is exactly what Trump getting his little nose involved in Comcast. They are trying to keep money out and ownership out of the hands of Black people. And they're getting away with it. Ownership of the media, the media that pretty much controls a hell of a lot. And Trump stuck his little nose in just like he did with the boys at the time. They were children, young teens of Central Park 5. had nothing to do with it, but he thought his money or his power he could stick his little nose in there and try to be a racist to whoever he wants. And he's getting away with it. And I am so incredibly beholden to Byron Allen. I really am, for him trying. Because, my God, there has to be good in this world. I just don't get it. Yeah, so absolutely. African Diaspora News Channel. Joe Biden hurt Black people, Black Americans, way more than Trump ever has. Remember, Biden wrote the 1994 crime bill, which disseminated our community with mass incarceration. Right. And it's like, I absolutely get that. It's just, I look at Trump, he's a eugenicist. The man is a freaking eugenicist. He truly, I mean, his parents were Klan. I mean, it's like talking about two people who are like on the same level. I certainly am not an advocate in any way, I mean, wanting Biden, but I want Trump less does not mean I want Biden. It's a joke. He'll do nothing. If anything, he'll just acquiesce to the status quo, which is really bad. Thank you for that. That is absolutely understandable information. And yeah, it's just when push comes to shove, I don't want to do a vote that's, like opposition vote because it's voting for Trump. So it's just, it's like the lesser of two evils, but not by much, or I don't know. I get it. I absolutely get why Black people would not want to vote and why white people would not want to vote for Biden. But I just, honestly, well, you heard what I said. Thank you for your amazing input. Yeah, no, I get it. This is not good. This is not good. Not good at all. This is a really bad selection. I think it's over, to be honest. Not to be the soothsayer of doom, but I think it's too late. But I'm extremely happy to have your input. Gigi, Republicans think long term and Dems like to protest vote. Yeah, well, Republicans, did you guys hear what Trump actually admitted? If we did that in the assistance bill and the relief bill, then we'd never have a Republican again if we let them vote. He's talking about the constituents. He's talking about us. Trump actually admitted, and I didn't do a write-up on that because it's just, I can't take him. He admitted that the gerrymandering, the oppression, the cheating of votes, the taking away. I did 3 hugely long videos on taking away the vote of Black Americans. And it is absolutely purposeful, and stupid, silly Trump admitted it because that's what he does. He's a freaking imbecile, a racist imbecile, but an imbecile. So he admitted it, and this is crazy. We're in crazy land. We've been in crazy land for a long time, and I get it. As a white person, maybe, a lot of folks would be like, oh, you don't get it, da, 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 da. Well, I get it enough to know that somebody needs to start talking about it. I'm not, I know everything. Are you kidding me? I learn every day. Guess who I learn from? My Black and African-American friends, my brown friends, my indigenous friends, my friends who live on reservations, my friends who call me and tell me what their life's like, my friends who do a 5-hour interview with me. Oh my gosh. My friend Billy is awesome. He honestly, I was like, I couldn't keep he was telling some amazing life stories. And after 5 hours, I was just like, he's awesome. I hope you check out his videos. I'm going to put out 15 of them. They're his life story and the music industry of what it was really like in the 40s and 50s for a Black person, extremely talented group of Black people. He knew the stars he knew. He can tell stories. I'm going to have to ask him again for more stories because I think there's 3 more hours. Anyway, let me keep going here. Let me see. Gigi, Republicans, absolutely. I don't have faith in either. I'm not a Democrat. No. Neil, I am here if I can keep from getting kicked offline. My computer is acting up. If we get to some of the stuff, Neil, I'm thrilled to have you. I would like you to talk about a little bit about FEMA. You'll be able to, you'll know when, if you can. But I know you weren't feeling well. Tavane Clark, reality versus TV. If Biden is nominated, it should now. Next for Okay. Oh, if Biden is nominated, it should now next 4 years Trump presidency. Tell me more. I'm just not able to decipher what you're saying, but I want to know what you're saying. So I'll catch up to it. And like, I want to know, Tavane. I want to know. Gigi, friends that would vote for Trump wouldn't be my friends. I'd reevaluate that. Personally, I cannot. I know it's my white privilege talking. I do not have a friend that votes for Trump that I know of. I got rid of them long ago with a very, very blunt letter online that was to anybody. And I basically said, and maybe someday I'll read it. I read it every year, read it like 5 times. When I wrote it, I meant it with all my heart. And to this day, I do too. I said, basically, and this is my privilege talking because I work at home. I can do this. And I don't want a friend who would vote for Trump. I don't. And I can do that, I guess. And that's privilege because some people have to work with people like that. And I don't, and I won't. And I basically said, if you support Trump in any way, shape, or form, yeah, sure, you might say you're not racist, but it wasn't a deal breaker. What I want you to do is go fuck yourself. And before you do that, unfriend me because I want nothing to do with you. It was a generic letter. I did not name names. I had people who I didn't even know were Trump supporters going nuts at me. I lost a couple of close friends, but you know what? It's been 3.5 years. And let me tell you, people who have the privilege need to use their privilege to stand up for what's right. Because having privilege, it's just all for you. And you don't stand up and do what's right. Then this is kind of selfish, You're not being a good citizen to your fellow humans. So it stung, but mostly because I didn't know. There's one guy, I had no idea. Why would I, And he took it totally personally, which was perfect. It was perfect. And yeah, it pissed me off. It was perfect because he basically outed himself as a horrible human being. Because I'm sorry, you cannot be a Trump supporter and in your heart. I'm sorry, you just can't. You can't be an amazing person if you support a person who planned his entire campaign and boasted about taking away the human and civil rights of Black people and African American people. Sorry, you don't get about you can't support somebody. If you support something like that, you support all of them, and you support their extreme sickness. So yeah, I did that. That was bad. But you know what? I'd do it again in a heartbeat. I revisit it to make sure I'm not off my rocker. But talk about outing people. Oh my gosh, it's out of control. People just came to me. I didn't even need to come to them. Like, why'd you write that about me? I was like, I have like 1,000+ friends. I'm not on Facebook anymore, but it's like, it wasn't about you, but now it is. Sorry, I'm evil. But no, I can't. I won't. So Gigi, yes, I 100% agree. But that I also respect, I'm not a Black person. I have different privileges, and I know a lot of Black people have different privileges as well, but I can't tell a Black person what to do and what not to do. They get to do what they want. But for me, not a chance. Global entertainment TV would like the people of America to start walking the walk instead of talking. Like the people who are on the front lines, such as doctors, first responders who are dealing with the virus now. I think that is a great idea. I am absolutely in support, absolutely 100% in support of that. And that's why I do these things. I am not going to, yay, I like everybody. Yay, equality, yay, equity, whatever that means. No, I'm going to spend the rest of my life learning about this. And every day I learn 1 or 2 or more things. And I will always be appalled. Maybe because I don't live it. I don't know. Maybe because I can't normalize anything. It's kind of a curse, but I can't normalize it. I will not normalize the fact that we have systemic racism rampant in 2020. No. I can't. And it's not an easy way to live, but you know what? I have privilege. I can stop anytime I want and be like most of the other white folks and not give a shit. Okay? and not care and not educate yourself. And that is still privilege. I could take a day off if I wanted. And that's privilege. So anyway, I will keep taking, but yeah, global entertainment, abso-stinking-lutely. I would too. I can't seem to get through to people. It's crazy. Just, I'm going on and on. Jamie, hello. How did I skip my sweet Jamie? Oh gosh, I skipped. I'm bad. Wow. Okay, I better catch up. Before everyone's like asleep. Wow. Interesting. I'm gonna read them out loud. I just gotta back it up here. I didn't realize how many comments I missed. Sorry about that. It scrolled while I was talking. Wow. Okay. I think I've caught up. I apologize. Okay. Biden. Okay, kitchen politics. Goodness. Biden worked with Mitch McConnell to extend Bush's tax cuts for the wealthy while average Americans suffered during the recession. Kitchen politics. He's rated F- by leading climate group, the Sunrise Movement. Yeah, no, I'm no fan of Biden's. I'll tell you that much. I think there are so many issues with him, but I mean, I think Trump's like the next coming of Hitler. So, I mean, it's all, they're cousins, okay? I mean, definitely. Mr. F.S. Black. Most white people can't and don't want to discuss racism because they can't seem to grasp that it's not about them. 100%. Oh my God. Thank you. Yes. And that problem, the problem is bigger than them. Yes. That is oh my God. Have you been watching my tapes? The first thing I say, and this really makes people mad, and I hope they take it and think, when white people are saying, it's not about us. Okay? It's not about us. They take it personally, like it's about them. No. And I say that a lot. And thank you for saying that, because like, take their guilt away. It's not about you. It's not about it's not about a guilt session where you can, I feel so bad. I feel so guilty. No, it's not about you. Slap that guilt off you and do something. Don't feel guilty. Help. I don't feel guilty one bit. I feel pissed. And people, a lot of times when they give me nasty responses, which I do not put through, they say really evil things and, whatever. They'll say, you just feel guilty. I'm like, F off. I don't respond to them. But in my head, I'm like, you are misinterpreting. I'm pissed. I don't want to live in a society that is like this. I don't want to watch my fellow humans be abused. I don't. It hurts me to watch my fellow humans be abused. Okay? So I'm making it all about me, but I mean, it's hard to explain. But yeah, you're absolutely right. I'm 100% back you on that. Biden broke his own pledge to not accept fossil fuel money for attending a fundraiser hosted by the former advisor and current oil corporation co-founder owner Andrew Goldman, and lied about it twice. Yeah, I believe it. No, I mean, guys, I think he's not good. But I truly believe, like I've been saying for years, that I think Trump is the de facto modern leader of the modern, Ku Klux Klan. And that is why everything he does goes back to his extreme racism. Everything he does. And maybe if you can say that about Biden, maybe I don't know Biden well enough, but I had to pick one because I am not going to do a default vote, and which is a vote for Trump. I can't do that after what I've seen him do. I don't know if Biden's learned anything in his life. I don't know. But at least there's this much hope. Yeah, you can't even see it, right? This much hope. Okay, I have nothing. There's no hope. But with Trump, there is the opposite of hope. It's horror. Biden, he's often rude and condescending towards young climate activists and those asking about issues, even making uncomfortable physical contact with people. Yeah, no, we got issues, people. You do not like Biden. A Biden matchup against Trump would truly be a disaster, as all of Biden's weaknesses play directly into Trump's strengths. Kitchen politics. He has questionable electability based on receiving 0.22% in 3 previous Democratic elections. The DNC is foolish backing this guy. Abso-freaking-lutely. I think so too, but it's not even the people's choice anymore. And to me, reality TV. Yes, I am married. Yes, yes, yes. Nails and Glitter. Yvette is part of the ADOS movement. Ah, okay, cool. Because I've been trying to find if anybody knows someone who is in that movement and, knows, you don't have to be like, maybe like the president or whatever. You don't have to be like with it for 20 years and know everything. Just feel like you can really speak to it. I'm looking, please help me ask them. I wrote to them, but they didn't write back. I'm asking them, could I please have somebody come and I want to do an interview. I want the white folks to learn about this. They need to learn. We need to learn about this. And I've read all the stuff online, but I want like I want to have a face to it. And I know, I'm kind of small potatoes, but anybody, there's got to be someone who has the time to, now that we're all home, to do an interview so that the white folks can hear this and learn this. It's all about education. But thank you. I have to find contacts, and it's kind of hard sometimes. Kitchen politics. Dropped out of 88 race in disgrace after revealing he had lied about. You are after this man. Wow. No, I get it. Oh, Jamie, it's totally fine. I'm so happy you're here. Let me see. Go to us, evil is evil, period. Yes, and I know that. To a lot of people. I don't understand. I guess the South just loves Biden. I don't get it. I don't get it. A lot of Black people in the South love him, apparently. And that I don't get, and that's just, I'll live with that. I don't get it. How can they possibly love him? How? But yeah, I know a lot of people are like that. Evil's evil. But when it comes down to push or shove, it's one stupid vote. It's mine, I'm not concerned that I'm going to have any impact. I have no doubt I'll have no impact on anything, but I got to try. So that's why I do this. But no, I think I understand what you're saying. Evil's evil. But when they're forcing a choice, So I'm going to vote for the barely less evil than the actual evil person. I don't know. I'll go on and on. I don't want to make this about me because my vote's whatever. He's too openly, okay. Kitchen politics. You've been a busy guy. Oh my God. There's a new global entertainment TV. There's a new trend on Twitter called "Congrats to Trump" because Bernie Sanders supporters are angry he didn't get the nomination. Check it out. Okay, thank you. I will. I'll go back in the notes and look. Thank you. I appreciate it. Kitchen politics opposing meaningful action on the climate crisis like the Green New Deal. Oh my gosh, you are so okay. These elections are a joke in my eyes, Mr. Yes, absolutely. I don't know if you saw this video that I made, but Cambridge Analytica is the offshoot of Cambridge Analytica, the one that used psyops for brainwashing Americans to vote for Trump, is still doing it. He's hired them. He is a client of their new little subsidiary that, because Cambridge Analytica in England was closed down. But the 4 people who were working there started a new place, and Trump is a client, at least as of 2 or 3 months ago. They are still using, and that is why Mark Zuckerberg, if you don't know what I'm talking about, go online, find my Mark Zuckerberg videos and my PSYOPs videos. PSYOPs is military grade brainwashing. It's what our military uses on our own citizens now. And it's not the military doing it, but it was made for military. Now it's a private company that you can buy. Ask Trump. He is probably a huge client of theirs because he hired them for 2020. They are probably actively, there's a reason Zuckerberg on Facebook will monitor everything but political stuff to make sure it's true. It's because if he does that, then they can't brainwash people slowly over time individually. Each individual person in purple states gets their own little brainwashing, and it works. It worked with Brexit. It worked with people who are trying to, turn jihadists online for other countries. And they reversed it, and they are using it on Americans, and no one is stopping them. So that's a whole other, this is just huge. Trump administration bought $60,000 worth of malaria drugs. We'll use it on prisoners like guinea pigs. Is that a fact, or is that something you think, kitchen politics? Because that's a whole nother. By the way, today Trump doubled down that if the whole country voted by mail, no Republicans would ever win again. I missed it. He is absolutely right, because that's what we need, is people definitely voting by mail. We should all vote by mail. Give me a break. Everyone vote should count. But this is no longer a nation of the people, for the people, by the people. I think we can all agree on that. Wow, I missed that. Ugh, I was already mad enough. Tammy, I hope Trump gets voted out, and every Republican, I truly hope every brown skinned person votes for blue. I do too. I don't think they will. I can tell you that, but I understand why they won't. I'm white and I want to leave the country. Okay, so how's that sound? This is not the nation that, no, not good. Okay. Like the people of America start. Okay, now I'm going to go back to, I hit the bottom. Ah, cool. Finally. Okay. So I will continue with my little rant, jump in anytime, and then I can catch people in real time. I don't know if you all know this. This is insane. Okay. So Trump's basically making shit up, and we all know that, but he's not being held accountable, and he knows it, and we know it. Therefore, I believe it is the end of our democratic republic, because he holds more power than the other two branches by far, because he holds the other two branches, at least half of one and a lot of the other one. So we have messed up our Constitution. That's the biggest fear of the founding fathers, right? Like that the balance, one branch would get too much power. Well, here we are, well into it. Trump received a very blunt memo from Peter Navarro, his chief trade supervisor. He sent him two. I don't know if you guys heard this news, one in January and one in February. His memo forecasted, and it was a memo, I think you can see it online, trillions of dollars in economic damage, as well as possibly 1 million deaths. Trump not only did absolutely nothing after being begged to take action, he says today, I don't know if it was today or yesterday, but he says he didn't read them. Okay, I'm sorry. You're the president of the freaking United States. Millions of people will die, and you missed the memo. You lost it in the mail. What the actual what? No. It's called being responsible. I don't think he's ever probably experienced that before, because he certainly doesn't act like it. Trump was saying it was the flu, that we're great. There are cures, vaccines. He told every state that they're on their own. His leadership's been worse than, bad leadership. It's non-existent. In fact, I'd say it's been detrimental to saving lives. I consider him absolutely responsible for lives lost. Global entertainment. It is really about guilt by and with the ignorant people in America who know not much. Yeah, you know what? I think the guilt is stopping them from facing the truth, and because they don't want to be introspective and say, my behavior and what I believe is wrong, and every single person I've ever loved has lied to me, and they can't handle it. They're too fragile, like white fragility. I think that's kind of what you did. Yeah, it's about their guilt, because if you have something to be guilty of, you like don't want to, I guess, delve into to practice being non-racist as a white person. You have to drop your ego at some point, and sometimes a lot. And they're too fragile to do so, I guess. So their guilt, maybe you're saying their guilt is holding them back. Absolutely. But when people come to me and say, you just feel guilty, I'm like, oh, shut up. I feel guilty. It's just, I don't know. And I'm not, I'm so special, but maybe I'm out of touch with it, but I really don't feel guilty. That's terrible. But also I was pretty lucky. My parents, I was raised in the kind of era of colorblindness, but I noticed it when I was 6 years old. Okay. No one told me what it was. I had kind of figured it out, but yeah, long story. We'll definitely talk. Okay. Gary, he fires anyone that corrects him. I fear for any medical advisor that speaks the truth and contradicts Trump's lies. Yeah. It's unbelievable. I didn't think it could have gotten any worse until this pandemic came to us. And I mean, I'm sorry. I work for a company in China. I knew about the pandemic, that it was going to be horrifically awful and dangerous. The freaking president of the United States couldn't catch on to that. I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. I honestly, truly believe he's this evil. He probably thought it would hurt Black people more, so he probably wanted to just let it go and do nothing. That's how evil I think he is. I mean, I think he's pure, just horrible. Yeah, tell me if I'm wrong, Global Entertainment TV. Tell me if I'm not representing you right, because I'm not trying to. Fact check, Donald Trump falsely claims he inherited the faulty coronavirus test. Oh my God. The man will not take responsibility. Oh my goodness. Developmental age, cha-ching. I don't want to insult any 5-year-olds or 4-year-olds, but yeah. There are still states in this nation that are doing business as usual. Yeah. Following their leader. South Korea and the United States had their first official outbreak patient at the same time, but there is no comparison. South Korea, who's been widely praised all over the world for its response to the coronavirus, tested more than 66,000 people the first week. Yes, you heard me correctly. The first freaking week. It took us over 3 weeks, almost a month, to test that much. And we have a bigger population than South Korea. With Trump lying, saying the whole time anyone could get a test anywhere, total BS, total BS. How do I know this? Sampling of one. I tried to get a test. Nope. My kid tried to get a test. Nope. Okay, there's 2 of us. And every other person I talked to who wanted a test couldn't get one. And the newspapers, and yeah, give me a break. Global Entertainment TV, you are doing your part to us to educate the ones who are listening, even if you think you are small potatoes. However, we don't think. Thank you. You're very sweet. Thank you. Thank you. I get frustrated because it's like, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You are very, you have no idea. That means a lot to me, because this stuff, if I don't talk to actual people, all I get are over and over again, nasty comments. I just get rid of them, but it's like, oh, the world is horrible, but thank you so much. I appreciate it. That really means a lot to me. Okay. Gary, his supporters believe every lie. I know they believe every lie, which is funny because today's lie is apt to contradict yesterday. Right. It's the illogical. It's crazy. It's like, it doesn't even make sense. Even stuff he says, he'll say stuff on tape and people will agree he didn't say it. It's like, maybe psychology is just, I know psychology is in its infancy, but this is out of control. Something about the human psyche cannot be honest with itself. I guess. I don't know. But yeah, absolutely. Lots of tests have been given to all that they, right. Trump's been the dictator, right. Somehow people who are movie stars and rich people and Trump have been able to get tested. And now they're supposed to be more prevalent. I don't know. but this is kind of scary. So once again, Trump saying anybody could get a test. Oh my God, what a freaking bullshitting lie. Bold-faced lies. Just continuous. Once again, we are at the absolute bottom, country-wise, of supposed industrialized nations. Let me put it to you bluntly, though, because I love being blunt. By the time we are through with the first wave of this virus, thousands of people in America will be dead who, if they lived in South Korea, would not be dead. How does that sound? And I hold Trump 100% responsible for crimes against humanity because of it. No, he didn't cause this virus, but he caused deaths and thousands. Because all these absolutely gross negligence he's done. Absolutely gross negligence. Right, nails and glitter. Doctors and nurses can't even get tested. They don't even have this is insanity. Neil, you may have missed this, but it could change the delegates from Biden to Sanders. Remember, Sanders had suspended his campaign, keep his delegates so blah, 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 blah. Let me just go back there. Has suspended his campaign and keeping his delegates so things can change. Tell me more, Neil, because I'm not sure 100% what you're saying, but I want to know. Kitchen politics. Nina Turner called out his wealthy white surrogate Hillary Rosen's attempt to intentionally misrepresent MLK's words. Yes. Rosen said she had no standing to speak to MLK when forced to apologize. She refrained. Yeah, that was awful. That was awful. Oh, that's really awful. I saw that over and over. I wrote something about it. No, it's not good. Not good at all. I think Trump needs to be kicked out of office. This is my white privilege opinion. Trump needs to be kicked out of office. And quite frankly, I am disgusted with him and his clan. And he makes me sick. And not a lot of people make me sick to be a member of the human race, but he does. And his clan. And yes, his voters as well. But what can I say? So we will never know how many lives Trump's absolute gross negligence has caused, how many deaths. We'll never know. But we do know one thing. His incompetence has led to disastrous results. And I mean, I didn't read the memo, but that's not just everything. He didn't read the memo, but he is absolutely lying 100% because the last video I just put out outlined how Bill Gates, love him, hate him, doesn't matter, went to him twice and begged him to do something about a possible pandemic. And guess what he did after that? He got rid of the funding for the CDC. He got rid of the directors of the pandemic, agency that was going to stand up and be a leader. I mean, it's crazy. I'll go on and on. Tavane Clark, reality TV, that said if doctors and nurses cannot get tested for coronavirus because your president doom United States of America. Let me just read that one more time. Said president. He made it so that they can't get tested. He gave away supplies. He gave away tons of supplies to China the day we had our first patient. And I'm all for helping everybody, but the man is out of control. He could have done all this so long ago. If we lose enough doctors and nurses, right, it'll skyrocket. It'll absolutely skyrocket. Yep. Yeah, I know kitchen politics. I know he was against desegregating. I know that's whoa. Yeah, we all know about that one from against it. Dang. Yeah, no, he's a bad guy. He wasn't my choice. He wasn't even on my agenda as a choice at all. Let me say it again. I think Trump is horrible. I think Biden is awful. And I can only pray that at least somebody will be more in control. I mean, I don't know. You guys, I don't have the answers. It's a horrible, horrible, we're doomed. I don't know what to say. We're screwed, you guys. We really are. It's really scary. And I just so appreciate everyone talking to me about this. I didn't read the memo. I'm sorry. It's like my dog ate my homework. It's like, my God, how old are you? Neil, I'm saying that Bernie is still on the ballot. And when the Democrats have their nomination, Bernie will still have his delegates and could get some of the delegates and stop Biden. Tell me more, because that being said, sounds like he's going to act like possibly take away from Biden, which sounds like it'll get Trump elected. As far as explain more. Who will Biden pick as a VP nominee? I don't know. He's terrible, terrible. Your president will destroy America. I mean, my president, thanks a lot. Jewish, thanks. The truth is, I think it's too late. I think Trump's destroyed America. I think we're just going to have to get through the aftermath and see it. I think it's too late. I think we're doomed. Too many white people love their racism a little too much. He had him at racist. And if you watch some of my other stuff and see my videos, you'll know exactly what I think. We're doomed. He had the minute we white, yes, I am. But the minute we white folks found out he was racist, nothing else mattered. Nothing else mattered. And that is my personal opinion, and that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Nothing else mattered. He was the man we'd been looking for since the end of the Civil War. Somebody who understood how we want to feel special because we're white. We want to keep our systemic racism because we really like it. We like feeling special. And he was the one. And that's why nothing he does or says matters after that, because that is what our nation was built on. And that is what our culture is all about. And I'm sorry, that's just my opinion. Ta-da! Dave, welcome to the show. Bernie wants to unite the party. The choice is between Biden and Trump. And if Trump gets to a second term, we'll be doomed. Abso-stinkin-lutely. If we do our job and vote blue, we can nail the bastard at the White House. A lot of people. No, I'm not married to a black man, actually. I'm married to he's a very white man. Thanks for asking, though. A lot of people ask me that. That's absolutely fine. No, my husband's white. I have always been interested in this because I was a little... Michelle, hello. Yay. I'm happy to have you. Sorry, I'm so looking all over the place. Tavane, I would love to tell you my history because I love talking about me. But I became interested in this when I was 6, didn't know what was going on. I don't want, it's like, I've said it so many times and stuff, but I have a video on it. The story of my life. No, but it's always been an interest. I worked when I was 23. I was lucky enough to get a teaching position in Compton Unified, happened to be during the LA riots. I learned a ton. I graduated in multicultural studies because I was just like, wow, I'm finding out about all this, what's really happening. And I didn't know, I wanted to find out. And I've always been incredibly wanting to know the truth. I just want the truth. So now I spend my free time trying to teach white folks our real racial history. Because if we don't know our real racial history, then we have no idea how all the problems that we have now, social problems, how we caused them. So our opinion on today's issues are absolutely ignorant and arrogant. And they mean nothing because we don't know our own racial history. So that's kind of my whole spiel. So white folks, we need to learn our racial history and learn it well. Not the whitewashed baloney in school. I mean what really happened, what people who look like us did. And yeah, it's ugly and it's sick, but it's the truth. And until we face the truth and somehow come to grips with it, you know, I'm not a hero. I don't need to be on Facebook. I don't need to do that. I'm not leading this thing, not even close. I'm supporting it because it's called being human. All white people should support equity for Black people, African American people. All of us should. And that we don't is beyond obnoxious. So I hope that gives you a little bit of that's my speech. Thanks, Michelle. I'm happy you're here. But yeah, I have a lot to say. I just think people watching is condoning. And when white folks watch or say, oh, I'm nice to everybody, that's really lovely and beautiful. But I'm sorry, you being nice to everybody is not going to dismantle a freaking system that is being upheld by the wealthiest people. They are not going to think, well, gosh, they're not going to let go of their power from the masses being nice to Black people. We have to be anti-racist. We have to work and act and behave and teach other white people how to do so. Because it's not coming from the top down. Those are the wealthy elites who love racism. It benefits them. So, oh my gosh, I'm on a rampage. I'm falling behind. Stevie, oh my gosh, I miss myself on Facebook too. Thank you. You're so sweet. I miss myself. I'm so happy you're here. It's really sad, even though, I mean, I have no love lost for Zuckerberg, but I have to say I really miss my friends on Facebook. And I lost like thousands of friends when he kicked my butt off for life. Let me see. Yes, he kicked my butt off for life, which was really mean because he didn't even tell me why. And I only got in Facebook jail twice, I think, in all of my, I don't know. We all know why. Oh, Michelle, you're so sweet. That makes me feel really happy because most of my friends forgot about me. But, you know, what can I say? Racist tension. I hear that people die. Tell me more. I'm going to scooch up. It raises. Are you saying, because I know for me, whenever I type anything, my autocorrect, it's terrifying. I think maybe you meant another. Did you mean it raises tension when I hear that people die or something? Tell me more, because I'm not 100% sure what you're saying, but I want to know what you are saying. Kitchen politics, you're on a rampage with this Biden. Yes, he is a bad man. Really quick, non-pandemic news, and then I have a couple other things. Keep the comments coming. I so appreciate people being here. And the people, Stevie and Michelle, thank you so much for saying that about Facebook. I was really sad because I didn't just lose my friends, but I lost people who were following my stuff, and it meant a lot to me. It was really part of my feeling like I'm doing something. People are listening, and I, be able to stand up for people. And just now I just work on my YouTube channel and stuff, but it's really different. So, and I'm going to see up non-pandemic news, I think. Other than President Trump, well, this is all part of it. President Trump fired the community inspector general who did his job by telling lawmakers. Oh my God, that's loud. I have been startled.
It was really hard on me.
Hey. good show tonight and everything. I don't know if you're still on air, but
Thank you.
I'm sick like a freaking dog.
I know.
And thank you for the support and everything. I have some bad hiccups for the past 2 days, so I'm not
Poor
really
baby.
still on. Yes, man. Yes, man.
Can I tell them that this
I
is the
hope that was
person?
enough.
This is the person who wanted to let you know. Can I tell them like?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
We're doing a GoFundMe for. He's got a really bad. I guess you call it a disorder in his eye, and he will go blind without his surgery in that one eye. And he's an incredible man. I adore him, and he's funny, and he's goofy, and he absolutely stands up for. He has his own group that he runs, anti-racism, anti-bigotry, all that stuff. And he's a great man. And I know it's very tight with cash, but
basically, I'm the guy from Kitchen Politics 1, 2, 3.
I thought you said I'm gay. I'm like, I didn't know that.
All night tonight.
Like, okay, you're a guy from Kitchen Politics. This is Kitchen Politics, and he used to run a show. He's a good guy. So. What do you have
I don't know
say?
if you have the link where the people can go to.
I thought
the operation I'm supposed to have is vitrectomy operation. The detached and torn retina in the left eye. So a couple people give. That's beautiful and all. I thank everybody for contributing.
We've already had people give, which I am so appreciative.
Yes, man. All right, I run now. I'm having some bad hiccup. I don't know what's going on. But
okay.
Well,
I'm glad you called in. Glad you called in.
Yeah, man. Bye.
All right, bye, sweetie. That's my friend. Oh, great comments. Stevie, I've been suspended from Facebook for calling out white supremacy. Oh, I guess that's what happened to me, but they booted me off. Don, why should a group of people be held accountable for their ancestors' crime based on skin color? Well, you see, here's the problem. That's not what we're doing. Because, let me try to explain. I will attempt to quickly explain. And that's a great question. Okay. Your question shows me that you have an ahistorical perspective. I'm not trying to be nasty. I'm not trying to be mean. But your question shows me. Because you see, when slavery ended, it wasn't just dancing in the streets, everyone got their rights. We're still doing it, okay? So what we did was we made rules and laws and did a whole bunch of really bad things that probably weren't in your textbooks, okay? And we still continue to this day to get away with crimes against humanity, systemic racism. We never stopped, okay? And this is accumulative. When you stop somebody from accumulating wealth purposely through redlining, through horrible things, through black codes, through extreme segregation that was absolutely not equal and obnoxious, as you know what, this is still going on. There was no finite point where, yeah, you could say slavery's, but it changed in form, okay? It just changed in form. We white folks were never going to allow one day they're enslaved human beings with status of not non-human, and the next day you're going to look at them as humans? Not happening. People can circumvent in their heart when their heart is filled with hatred. They don't even know why, because there's no reason. No one is going to tell them, well, now they're legal humans and you have to treat them with equity. No. We're still doing it. And the impact has been generation after generation after generation. We have done everything we can, our government, to stop Black people from accumulating wealth. And we are really good at it. And you know what? Black folks are very strong. And a bunch of people have somehow made it. But no matter how much money they make, they're still a Black person, and they're still susceptible to absolute I mean, our police, we have places all over the United States that train their departments, and they're in high crime areas. They're in this and that, and they don't kill people. They don't kill Black people because they're Black. We know how to stop that. We just don't want to. So my advice to you, and I know you might not be thrilled with this, and I'm not trying to be like putting you down or whatever, but you got to learn your real racial history, and you will never ask that question again. Okay. What we've done with, oh my God. I mean, yeah. So, but it's a good question. It's a good question. And I'm extremely glad you're here. The racist tension, I hear that kills people, that people get killed. Oh, I'm trying to understand. I'm so frustrated. I'm so sorry. Want to call in and ask me? I'm not sure if anyone, I'm not always like completely with it here. If anyone wants to tell me what he's talking about, Tavain, write it and I'll understand. I'm losing it here. But keep trying. Oh, global entertainment. What do you think about the captain of the USS Roosevelt ship who was fired because he spoke up about his crew who may have had the virus, and 45 Michigan got plenty of backlash? Yeah, I looked into that, and I definitely look. I am, if you know who I am, I'm extremely transparent, at least as much as I think I am. When I taught my classroom, any parent, anytime, any minute could come in my classroom unannounced and walk in, as long as they're not like, screaming and yelling. They could sit in the back and watch. I have nothing to hide. Nothing. And that is saying something. I want, if you have done nothing wrong, then why not the transparency? I mean, people are only upset when you're telling them because they did something bad. They're not upset if they're doing something good. So yeah, I am thrilled that somebody did something that was right. And you know what? I would do the right thing 10 times over, even if it meant losing whatever I had. Guess why? First of all, I have good white privilege pretty much. But second, because I've done it before. Okay? I've done it before. I've done things before like that. Your personal integrity, and easy for me to say, I'm not starving, I'm not homeless, but the more wealthy you are, the easier it is to have ideals, is what I'm trying to say. And so I don't judge anyone who is unable to live up to that standard unless they're really well off. Then I'm like, that's disgusting. Doing the right thing, I will always be for. So yeah, that's why I could never be in the military, because I would be like, I'm sorry, that's against my personal integrity. My personal integrity is completely like, it's like gold to me. I can't. So sorry. So I'd be like kicked out immediately. I'd be kicked out. They'd be like, okay, you can leave now. Yeah, I couldn't follow. If somebody gives me an order that I think is morally reprehensible, so I'm spoiled. Whatever. I'm lucky. So President Trump fired the person who is supposed to be watching over the money. Imagine that. No transparency Trump. That's what I'm calling him. Oh, that's actually a nice way to put it. In Massachusetts, state leaders said that they had confirmed a vast order of personal protective equipment for their health workers. And this is very recent. And then the Trump administration took control of the shipments. In Kentucky, the head of the hospital told members of Congress very recently that he brokered a deal, but they pulled out of an agreement to deliver 4 shipments of desperately needed medical gear after the supplies were commandeered by the Federal Emergency Management Agency, aka Trump. Governor Jared Polis, if I'm saying that right, of Colorado, thought his state had secured 500 ventilators before they were swept up by FEMA. For weeks, the Trump administration had been telling states to procure their own ventilators and their own gear, like masks, gloves, face shields. but a new effort by the administration to create a hybrid system of distribution divided between federal government, local officials, and private healthcare companies has led to confusion, total disarray, and charges of confiscation. People are so confused. Once again, you little piece of you-know-what, Trump. Okay? Trump's botch job has led states to compete against each other as I speak. And competing against each other for weeks, Trump made it clear that the states were basically on their own to get their supplies, and now they're not. Most recently, Trump changed his mind. Suddenly, supplies are being pulled from states for the coronavirus. Things are going backwards as states don't know what they're getting, what they're not. And guess what? Who do you think Trump's going to let have stuff? His buddies. That is obnoxious. According to the New York Times article from April 6th, Brazil, awesome. Thank you. I'm so excited. Sorry. That's awesome. Gracias por todo. Gracias. Oh, oopsie. I forgot Portuguese. Oh, no. Mistakes were made. Sorry. Okay. I am just playing. Okay. The White House is running an ad hoc system of disaster response in which if you call and are nice to Trump, your area might get supplies to keep them alive. What kind of baloney is that? Oh my God, it's obnoxious. Advisor to Jared Kushner, I guess people are talking, the president's son-in-law, get a load of this. I just read this today. I'm going to read the exact word for word. Surprised FEMA officials in recent weeks by deploying supplies to communities after the area's representative had gotten through to Trump, even if the state had not gone through the formal process. Gee, really bad. Global entertainment, those who know and keep the truth history from those who don't or want to know and keep them they're keeping them ignorant. It's very purposeful. And very purposeful, yeah. Very true. A quote from the article by an insider said, he's talking about Trump administration, he basically is playing political games around life or death issues and leaving states to fend for themselves, which is unheard of for a president to show zero federal leadership in the middle of a national crisis. To add more to the insanity, yesterday Trump, oh, that's right, I already mentioned that. He upended the watchdog panel. Nancy Pelosi had something to say. The sudden removal and replacement of acting Inspector General Fine is part of a disturbing pattern of retaliation by the president against independent overseers fulfilling their statutory and patriotic duties to conduct oversight on the behalf of the American people. You could say that again. Neil, Sanders would be more likely give the nomination to Biden because he can't get the delegates to change their vote. I think he will work with Biden as long as Biden will accept Sanders' platform. Neil, as long as some of the platform, such as healthcare. If this pandemic and how the botch job that he has done doesn't get us universal health care like every other country of our equal to us, supposedly, nothing will. Okay. People are dying and it's disgusting. It doesn't have to be this way. Yes, a pandemic kills people, but this is out of control. We weren't ready, and we purposefully, he was told, I have to read you this before I go. I just have to. I'm going to skip the French doctors. Oh, terrible, terrible, terrible. Trump, I blame you. Let me read this to you because this is pretty, the existence of the coronavirus. I told you I was really pissed today, mad. The existence of the coronavirus is nobody's fault. That being said, Trump's obnoxious, incompetent, total lack of transparency and complete and utter disregard for human life during the crisis has led me to easily blame him for the skyrocketing death toll. Let me put it another way. I believe Trump is 1,000%, yes, I know there's no 1,000%, responsible for the absolutely responsible for a decent portion of the deaths that are happening right now in America. Not all of them, of course not, but one is one too many. He's the president of the freaking United States, for God's sakes. And as Vox News eloquently put it, Trump's failure to respond to the coronavirus pandemic did not begin with the administration's inability to send out millions of test kits and the protective gear to the health workers that experts say are needed to tackle the crisis. It did not start with Trump's bungling of messages, downplaying the crisis. It didn't start with his mid-March insistence that social distancing measures would be lifted. He had, here's a brief timeline. 5 years ago, yes, 5 years ago, Bill Gates met with Trump personally in a private meeting and told him the extreme danger that a pandemic would bring. He spoke of a virus that would spread around by people unknowingly, who felt well enough to go about their daily lives, but were actually infecting others as they did so. 5 years ago. Again, in 2018, he met with Trump again. Sorry, I'm saying again, over and over again. It's getting late. Okay, trying to convince him to back a universal flu vaccine. Gates reported that he thought Trump was interested, but he believed nothing was followed through with, and it wasn't, in any serious manner at least. In spring of 2018, Trump began dismantling the team in charge of the pandemic response, firing its leader and disbanding the team in spring of 2018, and defunding the actual organization that does this, the CDC as well, and he took away scores of money from other nations we were helping with it. I think it was either, I can't remember, 29 or 39. I read it like a couple days ago. I'm losing it. Countries that he took away their money. Additionally, Trump cut the budget for the Center of Disease Control, I already said that, and other health agencies, making it clear the Trump administration does not prioritize the federal government helping with the disease response for when an outbreak did occur. And all I can say is that is disgusting. I blame him 100%. Gary, Trump wanted a pandemic. His right stack fire. Yeah, I really don't get how I just don't get it. But I wanted to tell everybody, please don't listen to him. Please only listen to doctors and people who are, like scientists and stuff like that. Please don't listen to him. I know a lot of Black folks are afraid to wear the masks because we know what happens to Black people when they wear anything covering up their face or anything like that. I already put up a video of a guy who got kicked out of Walmart for being Black, wearing a mask, shopping like an innocent person does, shop. Really scary stuff going on. Dave, I agree. Trump probably knew the pandemic was going to hit New York City. It was his way of getting rid. I have no doubt. I have zero right. I mean, I know that people might think, oh, that's crazy. That's how I think of him. He's crazy. He'll do whatever he wants. I don't understand how all of a sudden race isn't being tracked. How convenient. I mean, everything, I don't know that he did that, but I wouldn't put it past him. I have zero faith in anything he does. Literally, he gets on the news to give, his briefings, and I say, he's lying. Even if he tells the truth, I think he's lying. I turn it off. I just think everything he says is a lie. I don't need to be told, I don't need to be lied to that many times to know somebody's lying. He is incapable of telling the truth, really. Anyway, I think he has mental illness. It's very severe, and he's being allowed to. It's a long story. I think a lot of things. But I cannot thank everybody enough for being here. You have no idea how much this means to me, to be able to just go back and forth and get your opinions and your thoughts and your feelings and have, hopefully, and he listens to Fox. Yes, he does. Yes, he does. He sure does. And it is scary because it's unbelievable. So I cannot thank you enough. If you are new here, check out my videos. I have tons of them because I can't shut up. So just keep making videos because it's a very emotional topic. And I care deeply for my fellow humans. Every last one of them. And even Trump, if he was falling off a cliff, of course I would save him. And then I would have him taken to a place where a panel of Freudian disciples, lots of them, in Austria, could help him with his medical treatment because something's wrong with that man. I wouldn't hurt him. I would help him because that's what we do. It's called being human. We help people. And I don't think he gets that. I don't think I get a reward for being human, and neither does anyone else. It's what we're supposed to do. That's why when people thank me, I say, don't thank me. I'm just acting like I'm supposed to act. And I truly believe that. So if you are interested in more hearing me blab, maybe a little more concisely, I have a ton of videos. Please consider subscribing. Michelle, I am so thrilled to have you. You have no idea. I'm really happy. And if you want to support this YouTube channel, all you got to do is watch the videos and send them to people who might learn something from them. Again, my audience is white folks. I learn from people who are Black and African American. They teach me. I don't teach them. I try to teach the white folks. Yes, I do. You're so funny to me. You really need to call me. We should chat. You have a lot of questions for me. Yeah, I do. And they don't play soccer. So just saying, not one of them. I'll help them over a cliff. Over a cliff or good. Thanks. Very funny. I know. I just, this is some crazy times. If somebody told me, just last thing, somebody told me that this is how it was going to go down, my laugh alone would not have sufficed. But we're living it. So it's real. This has been crazy. But anyway, so please subscribe to my channel, check out my old videos, and tell me what you think. I really want people's opinions. And thanks for being here. So, and also just a reminder, if you know anybody who needs to tell a story and needs somebody to help tell their story, big or small, if it's about inequality, corruption, racism, bigotry, please get us together because that's what I really love doing. I'll do an interview with them and I'll tell their story and I won't put it out unless they approve it. And if they stop me at the last second and say, I hate it, I throw it away or I delete it because at any time, it's not about me. It's about their story. But I love hearing the truth from real people. So thank you so much for being here. This was so awesome to have so many good people and comments. And kitchen politics, I would love to sneeze, cough at him, and I'm sure you would. Yes. Yeah, it's sad, but and Michelle, thank you so much for being here, and Stevie, and everybody, and the new people, and Neil, please promote Ingrid Zuckerman by posting her shows and messages and any of all. Thank you so much, Neil. I'm not on any groups anymore, so I can't post any of my stuff. So I would love it if you believe in what I'm doing, or you find a particular video that you think, oh, yeah, I get that one. That makes sense. Please share. I would appreciate it. And got to get this to the white folks because we are teachable. It's just a steep learning curve. So thank you so much for everything, everybody. And don't be a stranger. Thank you, Jillian. Thank you so much for being here. You are so incredibly supportive. All right. Good night, everybody. Sweet dreams, and please stay safe. Thanks. You too. You too, Gary. Thank you. Absolutely means the world to me. Good night, everybody. Now, I still don't know how to turn this off. Bye, everybody. Oh, kitchen politics. Poor baby. Oh, my God. Okay, message me. Good night, everybody.